Okay. We're live. Whenever you're ready. I'm just gonna put your
Whoa.
phone out.
It's
I know, it's odd.
Do that so we get.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Jay Sampson. No, this isn't working.
Point at the computer.
Anyway, you'll see it. I'm Jay Sampson. I'm with All Corners Home Inspections, and everything was fine with doing this morning until I found out it's live. Okay, and I'm just a little nervous, and now the clicker's not working. Try and fix it.
First time I went Facebook Live, it was nervous. Everybody loves you.
One of these days.
Well, somebody
Alright, go
told
ahead.
me that
Try
when
it
I
again,
do,
Jay.
when I, there, hey, look, I didn't lie. I am Jay Sampson. Okay? I'm trying to learn, I'm new at this, I'm not new at this, but it doesn't come easy for me. So standing up in front of people, and somebody told me that I went to Toastmasters with Connie, that you shouldn't go read line item for line item on the PowerPoint. So I stumble around a little bit, but we'll get through this. I am the owner and operator of All Corners Home Inspections, and I have Debbie, who's in the back there, who does my marketing and gets me all the work. 25 years experience in the construction industry. I spent 25 years doing insurance restoration. I'm a building contractor as well. I've never built a house in my life, okay, but I've torn the middle of houses apart and put them back together. Cars going through them, fires, replacing half the trusses of a house. And the reason why I bring that up is because I couldn't imagine doing home inspections without that knowledge, okay? 20, okay, there we go. I'm a member of a National Association of Certified Home Inspectors. There's 3 or 4 of them throughout the country, and I am a member of one of them. I'm also with Hernando County Association of Realtors. I was for a year and a half, I was the chairperson, and I'm involved with the Chamber of Commerce and the West Pasco Board of Realtors. Okay, and I'm also with Kiwanis. I do a lot of community stuff with Kiwanis. Inspection licensing. July 1st, 2001, you had to become a Florida licensed home inspector to perform a home inspection. Inspectors are prohibited from working on any house for up to 1 year after they do a home inspection. It kind of keeps us honest, and I don't really want to fix anything anymore. I just want to tell you what needs to be repaired. General contractors cannot perform home inspections, okay? They can, and I had one day, a buddy of mine was taking continuing education at Juliet Street construction place, and had their instructor getting very upset with me, through the phone, because I told him he can't do a home inspection. Well, they can't do home inspections. They can do home evaluations. Okay, so if you have a client that says we're having a contractor do it, they can't give them any kind of report stating that it's a home inspection. Okay, only licensed home inspectors can do home inspections.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
This doesn't put any pressure on me.
We're still learning too.
Me too. Not home inspections, I got that.
That's where you were, right?
Mhm.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, hiring the right inspector. Again, make sure they're licensed. Look for experience, been in business for a while, don't let cheap be your guideline. I actually found out a while ago I raised my prices because I tell people don't let cheap, don't hire cheap, and then I found out I'm one of the cheaper ones in town. The anywhere, home inspections last anywhere from like 2.5 to 3 hours, okay, depending on the size of the home. Make sure that your parties are there, and don't rush them. You know, that I try not to rush the clients. If I like to be able to write the report there at the site, but if I find that they need a little bit more babysitting, I spend the time with them. I worry about writing it later. All my reports go out the same day. Okay. Show up. If this is your first time you've ever booked an inspection, you should try to attend to understand what a home inspection is. Ask questions. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Make sure that, you know, if your client has questions that they need to ask and they're afraid to ask them, and I may be skipping around a little bit here, but ask them for them. You know, make sure if you have to email me, if you can't make it to the inspection, email me what you think is a concern for the client. And then when I'm there, if they show up, I can explain it better, or a home inspector can explain it better. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Please, if you need to ask a question while we're going through this, like Dan, you want to interrupt me?
Do you like it when the realtor shows up to the inspection, or would you prefer that they came at the beginning? From the realtor's perspective, what is ideal for you to get the best quality inspection?
It doesn't matter to me. I go, you know, and there's no, I spend probably half my inspections, nobody's there. Okay. And then the other half, everybody's there. You know, so it's really worked great with my ADD because I can block people out now. You know, they can go and do what they want. And, you know, so I don't know if that answered your question
Yeah,
or not, but
absolutely.
it doesn't matter to me who shows up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Read the full report. Good, I didn't change this. I thought I changed that back. I'm trying to say something here. Read the full report to your client. Okay, that is just it. That if I was to complain about doing home inspections, and I love it, and I'm sure other home inspectors are the same way. It's you get calls and complaints, and most of the time, if they just read the report, it's in there. Okay, I actually thought about it, and I would probably tell your client, you know, make sure you have at least 2 to 2.5 hours the following day, okay, to read the report, go over everything. There's information throughout the whole report. Not, I do a summary report, basically for the realtors at the end of the inspection report. You know, it's a summary of what the major items are, but there's other information that the home buyer needs to see. What is a home inspection? Home inspection services means a limited visual examination of the following readily accessible installed systems and components of a home: the structure, electrical system, HVAC system, roof coverings, plumbing system, interior components, exterior components, and site conditions that affect the structure for the purpose of providing a written professional opinion of the condition of the home. Okay? That is what home inspection is. You think I know that by heart now, but I don't. Okay, now we're going to get into what the difference is between, you know, what a 4-point inspection is and what a home inspection is. Well, the difference. Okay, a 4-point inspection is for insurance purposes only. The inspection covers the roof, electrical, HVAC, and plumbing. Now, everybody has been coming up to me asking me, well, what's the 6-point? What's the 8-point? Because the insurance companies just changed. They didn't change drastically. Okay, they just wanted a few more pictures of the plumbing and a little bit more information, but it wasn't a drastic change. But what is happening is the roof is, you know, a 3-tab roof now. They're saying, and this isn't with all insurance companies, but this is how I do mine because I don't know which insurance company that they're going to be looking at. Is a 3-tab is 15 to 20 years life expectancy, and a dimensional is 20 to 25-year life expectancy, and they want 3 to 5 years, okay, life expectancy left. So sometimes it becomes an issue, okay. It is designed to give insurance companies information about hazards. We just discussed that. They are extremely limited in the info they provide. They should never be used in place of a home inspection. Home inspections versus 4-point inspections covers all areas of the home is a home inspection, 4-point covers only the 4 points. Home inspection, structural concerns addressed, and 4-point, no structure whatsoever. I'm sorry, that's one thing. The structure, they now want sheathing. If the sheathing, so that's part of the structure. So if the sheathing is bad because of the roof, then they do want that in there. So that kind of changed a little bit. 4-point inspection usually just covers the water heater. A home inspection, interior electrical issues are addressed. With a 4-point, usually just the panel. And under home inspection, better designed for giving a client better understanding of what they are buying. 4-point, designed for giving insurance companies a reason not to write a policy. And I stress, if you get a 4-point from anybody and there's items in there that need to be repaired, I tell people don't send it into the insurance company. So it's revised, until the items are fixed. They send it back to me, I revise it. For me, first trip back out to the house to look at the repaired items are free. My first trip. Second trip, I do charge. Now that's in the Spring Hill or Orlando area. If I have to go to Inverness or Newport Richie, I may have a little trip charge. Okay. Under home inspection, problems coming up during a home inspection tie-in with realtor as is contracts, and problems coming up with a 4-point need to be repaired or no insurance. Okay, so does everybody understand, Dan?
I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because I get this call from agents a lot about what the difference between the two are and which we encourage them to get. So your buyers, we always recommend to them in our disclosure that they should get a home inspection. It's not required for insurance purposes for the traditional home inspection, which is the more complete report. That's going to cover most of the stuff in the house. It's going to give them a really good idea of repair things that are potentially needed. What's required for the insurance company is a much more condensed version of that called a 4-point inspection. And Jay will do the 4-point inspection as a part of the home inspection if you let him know that it needs the 4-point. There are some time criteria on which homes need that 4-point inspection, but the 4-point should never be looked at to stand in for the regular home inspection, nor should the regular home inspection be looked at to stand in for the 4-point. Your absolute best option for your buyers is to get both done and have them available for the insurance company if they need them. So,
Am I allowed to correct you?
sure,
Okay.
please.
I can tell before I get to the house whether it needs a 4-point or not. Not all homes need a 4-point, and I believe. Okay, maybe I don't cover it in this. There's 3 criterias on whether a house needs a 4-point. If it's 30 years or older. Now, if it gets around 28 and there's items that need to be repaired that would fall under the 4-point, I automatically will do a 4-point. 28 years or something like that. Because just in case the insurance companies, I don't know if you notice it, but some insurance companies, they kind of make things up as they go along. So I automatically will just do one at about that age. Okay. Or if it's in a foreclosure. If it's in a foreclosure, the house could be a year old and it will need a 4-point. So I can tell looking at the permits who owns it, if the bank owns it or not. And then the other criteria is if it had a sinkhole. Again, it could only be a year old. If it had a sinkhole, it needs a 4-point. Okay, so I don't have to be told to do the 4-point. I automatically, unless maybe I find out later that it was in foreclosure, and then I'll do one. Or if I'm walking around the house and it's not permitting, because I think 2011 they started putting them in they started having to pull permits for the sinkhole. If I walk around and see the pins, the holes in the concrete for the pin, I know it had a sinkhole. Okay, so I'm going to do a 4-point. So not all homes need a 4-point. Okay. Did that make sense? Okay. Roof certifications. Really, these are kind of getting obsolete because in between your 4-point and your wind mitigation, it pretty much covers the roof certification, but we'll go over it anyways. Currently, Citizens is the only insurance company requiring a roof certification, 25 years or older. And I haven't done one in probably the last year. Roof needs to be 3 years life expectancy, 5 years is better. 3 years means 1 year. Okay, so if you give 3 years, if the home inspector gives 3 years for that, that means that the people need to be looking at getting it approved, because they're not gonna get another 3 years when the insurance company wants it. Asphalt shingle is 25 years, tile roofs are 50 years. Now, with the 4 point, I'm waiting for this to happen, it hasn't happened yet. The insurance companies now, most of them are 20, 25 years, doesn't matter for dimensional shingles. Well, I get people telling me that, well, I just paid extra money for a 50-year warranty. And I'm waiting for the insurance companies to start telling these people and what, that doesn't matter. Because it really, that's what they're saying. It just doesn't matter if there's a warranty on it or not. We're only gonna insure it for 25 years. That hasn't happened. I haven't gotten in the middle of that yet. Metal roofs are 50 years. Mobile home roofs. Material doesn't seem to matter. It's 25 years, and then they want this or wind mitigations. In order for homeowners to save money on rising costs, the insurance company developed MySafe program. Does anybody remember that? MySafe program, that was before the wind mitigation. Okay, it died, so it didn't last long. The Florida still needed to help homeowners, so they developed the wind mitigation. Now, wind mitigations are for discounts only. Okay, a lot of insurance companies or some insurance companies aren't going to ask for a wind mitigation because who wants to give a discount? Besides me, I like to lose. But and the people were happy again, but the insurance companies were not. So the OIR changed the form to 4 pages long with more restrictions and what qualified and needing pictures as well. On what qualified and needing pictures. Okay? And the people were not so happy. Okay? So that didn't make sense. And to top it off, they gave the insurance companies the right to re-inspect using their own people. That's what the insurance companies can use their own people with the inspection, but most of them don't. I don't know. Do you know any insurance companies that send out for to have their inspections done?
No, I do know insurance companies though, if you're going with any citizens product, will send out their agents to take photographs of the pictures, especially if there's been sinkhole report.
They will send them out?
Yes.
Okay.
Or in some cases, they'll actually ask the agent to do it, but I've kind of discouraged my agents from taking all the pictures because it's puts them in an awkward position because they're now taking pictures for the insurance company. But I will tell you that we've all done it. It's just something the agent doesn't want to do it.
I get calls all the time.
realtor,
Yeah, I get calls all the time, that this picture was forgotten. Can you go back out there? Well, I try to be nice of, I don't want to say, I don't want saying no. So I get
take a
to go
picture of
out.
the back of the house.
It's kind of silly, but
I have one insurance company ask me for pictures from the inspection report
Really,
and use them.
that's interesting. Okay, so I guess that does happen.
from the insurance, how do you get it?
We can supply it for them, just the pictures though, not all the details.
From the insurance, from the inspection? What?
From the main report, they just said, can we use these pictures before we bind insurance? So we use cherry because they can't use MLS, so we cherry picked those pictures. And
Yeah,
send them over.
they wanted a couple.
Instead of going and retaking them all ourselves.
Okay,
They don't wanna
okay,
go out and take
okay.
them.
You don't send the whole report though?
No,
Okay, 'cause
absolutely
I
not.
stress to people, don't send that home inspection report to anybody.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then if they look a little, if they look a little confused, okay, don't send anything unless your realtor tells you it's okay to send.
Absolutely.
So, any questions at all, please, because I have plenty of jokes, because I still have an hour and a half.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
The home inspection from the realtor's perspective, is it intended to notify the buyer about upcoming maintenance items and things that are going to need to be potentially addressed? Or are these all things on the report that are just deal killers and these are major issues? How would you say that? Is it more of an informative report than it is?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I have people send me reports wanting to please tell me what's happening with this report. And I'll look at some reports and it's all doom and gloom. you know, and there's good information I put down in my report, if this is what you're asking.
It is, yeah.
In my report, I put down, if you know, GFCIs, if you lose power in your bathroom, you have to go to the master bathroom to reset it. Or if you lose power on the outside, where that GFCI resets. So my report is it's usually probably about 46 to 65 pages. I've tried cutting it down just a little bit because people don't like big reports like that. Uh, so yeah, my report is very informative. You know, if you have a tree limb that looks like it needs to be cut down, that might be hit, and I put that in there. You know, trim your trees, get the weeds away from the house. Yes, very very informative. And then the major items I put in red. Okay, red font, to where it kind of just stands out just a little bit more. Now I don't make one item more major. That's correct, or major? Okay, more major than another item because I do it per room. Okay, so you know, I had somebody a couple weeks ago getting upset because I didn't put a major item like at the top of, because his floor is buckled. Okay, well, I did have in the report, again, read your report. I had it in that the vapor barrier under the mobile home was missing. Okay, so why is the floor buckling? You don't have vapor barrier. Well, yeah, but you didn't make it a major. Well, yes, I did make it a major. Yeah, but you put that, he's yelling, you know, you put that below the grounds not being connected on my outlets. I said, okay. I said, and if your house, if your house caught fire because there was no ground, you'd be upset that that wasn't on top. So it just, you know, you got to read your report. But yes, there's major items in there, and then there's maintenance items in there. So I do address not all maintenance items, okay, but I do address maintenance items in the report. And you know, for those of you, because I always forget to say this, for those of you that just have a bunch of listings, I do for $150. Okay, I don't know how many home inspectors do this, but I will go out and do a walkthrough pre-listing inspection. I don't write anything down. I don't take any pictures. They can call me an hour later. I'm not going to remember what I said. Okay, so the owner has to walk through with me and write down what I tell them to write down. Okay, and it's just the way that they can get through. And I do call out 4-point items. Okay, whether the house is going to need a 4-point or not, I'll stress that out to them, that would be in the 4-point if you need one. Okay, and that's, you know, and so far I've done maybe a dozen of them, and they seem to work out really well, because it gives the people more time to get items fixed than being under the gun, you know, when that contract is being
Yeah.
prepared.
And I just did this on the listing that I have coming up, so we did a pre-inspection.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And now we have the contractor there doing these repairs, so that when we get an executed contract on the house, we're not going backwards and trying to have these things fixed. It was all done proactively. So my seller elected to do a pre-listing inspection with all corners.
And he was happy, right?
Very.
with it? Okay.
And he went through and he wrote down all the things that needed to be done. He sent those over to his favorite contractor and handyman. Those things are being done this week. And now we're looking forward to those issues not being on the home inspection when he gets the house under contract. So it's an inexpensive way to insure yourself against potential issues coming up. So
Are you allowed to come back and be the inspector then on that property?
Sure. Yeah, we don't have regulations. No, yes, I believe I am. Sure, why not? I just better not call out anything. I just better not call out anything that wasn't on that
I know.
paper. Hopefully he threw it out. You know, and that's another thing, is not every home inspector is gonna call out. We're all just about the same, but not every home inspector is gonna call out. You know, another home inspector may go out there and call out a few other items. There really wouldn't be anything major, but doesn't mean that everything that I pointed out isn't gonna be on another inspection. Okay, but most of the stuff should be. Okay, any other questions?
you guys good? Any more home inspection questions, issues?
I know
scenarios?
I'm forgetting something, so.
No, that's okay. All right, I'm gonna jump up here. The last thing I'll leave you with, and Jay, you can talk a little bit about this, is if you have a buyer and the buyer has ordered a home inspection from All Corners or their favorite inspector, and you are in a situation where the seller is asking to see the report. This can happen as a result of the buyer saying, well, Jay has found these items, we'd like these items repaired. The way you need to go about that is you need to send over a request for repairs, addendum to the contract, and then you need to let the buyer know that you're going to be attaching the pages from that home inspection that are referencing the repairs you're asking to be fixed. So if there's a plumbing issue that Jay has found and your buyer wants that rectified, you need to attach that page from the home inspection and send it over. But under no circumstances should you ever release the entire home inspection to a seller without the buyer's written permission. And the reason for that is that the buyer paid the home inspector to do that service for them. The other thing I'll say is if a home has had a home inspection, I still recommend, if it's a different contract coming in, that buyer should still get their own home inspection, because we have had agents who have said, well, the home was just recently inspected a few weeks ago, the contract failed, there were no major issues, so your buyer can take that as assurance that there's no issues with the house. I don't agree with that. I feel that the buyer should go ahead and have their own home inspection done. So those are a few things that come up a lot, and it sure does give your buyer a better chance of getting those repairs done if you attach a copy of that home inspection page that cites that specific issue. So throw that in there. So, all right, if we don't have any other questions, we're going to wrap up. I want to thank Jay and Deb for coming out. If you would like to reach them, you can reach them on their website, or you can reach them at their office phone. If you want to share your contact info, Jay, to schedule a home inspection, your phone number. Deb, what's the phone number? Anyone?
352-293-2165. I have Angela in the office that answers the phones all day long, okay? So you don't have to worry about myself calling you back. If a client does call me, I automatically just give them the my voicemail will state to call the office, or if I accidentally answer, I'm real bad about it. I answer the phones when I really shouldn't. I'll tell them to call the office, because Angela knows my schedule and pricing better than I do. Okay, so that's one thing you don't have to worry about, is waiting for a phone call back. Very few times will she be on the other line booking an inspection, and she'll have to call you back, but she does call back. And another thing is, again, all my reports, all your reports go out the same day. Okay, without that. I was very upset a few months ago. 12:01 a.m. was when I hit the email, and I was very upset with myself because I broke my record. Okay, if you wake up in the morning and the report is not there, that means it's off in cyberspace somewhere. I did email it. Okay, so I just need a phone call and we'll go email. Okay, it's pretty easy.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone who watched the webinar today. We'll have more webinars coming up in the coming weeks. Watch on Facebook for more live updates, and have a great week.